It's the grandson of Right Thought. Welcome to the School of Marvelous Light. Go to the book of John, chapter 14. The book of John, chapter 14. This message is going to be about the two spirits that are warring for your mind every day. And we know that it's happening every single day, so there's no need in anybody acting like it ain't. Because Yahushua said there is enough evil in the day. And evil means division, to be divided. You see it? Within oneself. In other words, a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. Do you think it's safe to be around an unstable man? That answers it right there. No, it's not. And why? Because he cannot be trusted. And why can't he be trusted? Because he can't judge right, nor can he make a decision concerning a thing. So he has trouble making a decision concerning a thing. And if he does make a decision concerning a thing, it's not a trustworthy decision. Because why? He doesn't judge right. So he's unstable in everything that he does. So there's no need in asking him any questions about anything. But a single-minded man is no longer evil. You see it? So there's enough things going on in the world trying to pull you out of that single state of mind that you have decided on. I am peaceful. Well, there are things that are going to happen throughout your day, as I'm sure you all know, that are going to try to make you not stay in that peaceful state of being. As we say here at the School of Marvelous Light, Jerusalem. There's all kind of enemies outside of the gates of Jerusalem trying to bring you out. But Abba already told you what's on the outside of those gates. Whoremongers, sorcerers, dogs, fearful, unbelieving, perverse, and faithless. That's the kind of people you got in the basement, as we say here at the School of Marvelous Light. And they're always trying to bring you down there, like I say. But all you have to do is stay upstairs, because they can't force you to come down there. Like the cop said, he can't force you to say anything. But if you do say something, he's going to use it against you. So then if you step outside of Jerusalem, or you go down those stairs to that basement, what's going to happen? See how easy it is to be understood? They will use everything that you do against you. So anybody who's been in a relationship with a basement dweller, or they say in today's terms, I believe they call them narcissists, children of Satan, children of the devil, the deceiver. They deceive their lover. They carpet bomb them or love bomb them with so much adoration and perceived love that the person accepts them in, and they accept them as trustworthy, and they believe them. But they're only doing that so that they can gather information about you. See, like the good cop does in the interrogation room. He acts all kind to you, give you some coffee, maybe even buy you a damn burger from McDonald's when he comes in there to ask you some questions. He says, "How you doing today? I know this has been a rough process. So I know you're pretty uncomfortable. And I know you're probably ready to go home and lay in your own bed. And you know what could help us get through this process faster and help you get back to that bed faster? If you just give us the information we're looking for. But see, you just want to use it against me. You're not going to use it for me. So why are you giving me the burger and the water as if you actually care for me?" Well, that's the same thing in the relationships I told you about. They'll give you water and they'll give you a sandwich, but it ain't for the reason you think it is. You see it there, little flock? And that should prove to you all that you're actually living in two different worlds, psychologically and mentally. Isn't it true? Yahushua said the kingdom of heaven is within you. You see it? And his chosen place to rest himself is Jerusalem. So that proves the state of being you should be in internally. That's what Yahushua has taught us all. Because if we are resting in that place, then we are the same nation. We are the same people. We're the same tribesmen. You're my true family, like Yahushua said. If you do the will of the Father, which is to remain in Jerusalem and don't leave the house, if you do that, then you're my kin. Because you can only rest there if you're doing the protocol, like I've told you all. And Yahusha told you what the protocol was. You can't do any ill to your neighbor now. You see it? So now, these people that give you the sandwich and give you the water just so they can get some information about you that they can use against you. So woe unto you who have told your deepest, darkest secrets to that person, because they're just going to flip it and smear it all over the place so that everybody will know it about you eventually. It's coming. It's coming. You see? And then you'll learn that parable of the gold ring and a pig snout, and how that is representative of a woman without discretion, which means can't keep any secrets, can't keep anything secret and private. She can't even keep her own body secret and private. So you know she can't keep any information secret and private. See how that's going, little flockulators? You see it? And so you understand the meaning of that. Wow, what a treacherous woman that is. You laid in the bed and pillow talked with her and told her all of your deepest, darkest secrets because you trusted her. But lo and behold, now you're in divorce court and she's telling all of that shit to the world. Remember when you told me this? You're like, oh my God, this is so embarrassing. I told you because I trusted you. Oh, well, anything you say can and will be used against you. Yeah, I didn't think you would be using it against me because I thought you were me. I thought you were one with me. No, I was always me and you were always you. So were y'all ever married? No, you weren't. Paper doesn't make you married. A ring on your finger doesn't make you married. It's the two flesh becoming one flesh is what makes you married. See that there, little flockulators? You see it? So now, we're going to get into these scriptures real quick, and then we're going to prove the difference between these two worlds and how they're at war for your mind every single day. All right? John chapter 14, we'll start at verse 15. If you love me, keep my commandment, and I will pray the Father, and he shall send you another comforter, that he may abide with you forever. Let me start that first verse again. If you love me, keep my commandments. Who's speaking here? That would be Yahusha. So Yahusha says, if you love me, then do what I commanded you to do. What was the new commandment that he gave us, little flock? That you love one another. Like I always say on this page, because that's the remedy for all of your woes. There's really no need in talking about anything else. You see that there, little flock? He says, if you love me, then keep my commandments, and I will pray the Father, and he shall give you another comforter, that he may abide, which means live, with you forever, even the Spirit of truth, whom the world cannot receive. So how in the heck is Yahushua going to send something to some men that the world can't receive? What's the point of sending it to the world if the world can't receive it? Because that's not the only world that exists, guys. The world you see every day is not the only world that exists. There's a world on the inner. That's what Yahushua kept trying to point you to, because that's the real world. Now, I'm going to ask you a question. Out of your daily living, what part of your daily living is internal? Would you say it was where you think and where you feel? And do you not do that in a secret place? No one knows what you think and feel unless you express it to them, or don't got a good poker face and they can read it on you. You wear your emotions on your sleeve, then they'll see it. But no one knows otherwise what's going on in that secret place, do they? Now, what did Yahushua mean when he said, go into your secret place and close the door? Go into your closet and close the door, where the Father who sees in secret will reward thee openly. What does he mean, who sees in secret? Is it not that place where all your thoughts and feelings are going down that you already admitted to me that exists? That's where the grandson of right thought teaches to. Because that's where everything comes from. Everything you do comes from there. I deal with the root cause. You see it, little flockulators? I deal with what causes the thing. I don't deal with the symptoms. I deal with the cause of it. You see it? So most people don't know that there's more than one world, do they? They don't know that there's two worlds, do they? Look, little flockulators. Hey, what up, though? What up, pup? They don't know that there's more than one world. So then that's one thing that they have to be enlightened to. There's more than one world going on, and Yahushua said, I am not of this world. So you see how there's a separation? Now, if you follow Yahusha, which world are you from? And which world are you not from? You must know these answers. Otherwise, you actually don't know. You just know that there's a separation from the world you live in. Yeah, I got to come out of the world, man. You said be separate, man. That means come out, man. Of what world? What's the attributes of the world that you got to come out of? What's the attributes of it? We're going to get into that, little flock, you see? And what's the attributes of the world that you're coming into? We're going to get into that too, little flockulators. Y'all hear that? All right, back to the scriptures. So another comforter that will abide with you forever, the Spirit of truth. You see it? Whom the world cannot receive, but because it seeth him not, because it can't see him. See that, little flock? Neither knows him. It doesn't even know him. See what I mean about the world? You see why the grandson be saying the things that he says about what you must know? Because the world don't know. You see? But you know him. See how he says, but you know him? Y'all hear that? You know him, for he dwelleth with you. And shall be in you. So now, when I be talking to you on these videos, who's talking to you? Me out of my own thoughts and feelings? Or is it the Spirit of truth that reveals all things? That's how you know who's talking. If he is not revealing things, then he's not the Spirit of truth, because that's what the Spirit of truth do. Let's keep reading, then we'll see here. Let's just keep on going, and then we'll see for ourselves. Even the Spirit of truth, who the world cannot receive, because it seeth him not, neither knoweth him, but you know him, for he dwelleth with you and shall be in you. I will not leave you comfortless. I will come to you yet a little while, and the world seeth me no more. But you see me, because I live, you shall live also. So what does he mean? The world don't see him, can't see him, but you do. Spirit is how? You have to have eyes to see and ears to hear. That you will only receive those attributes once you are a new wineskin or have been born again of the Spirit. You have genetic ears and eyes that you were born with from your mother and your father. But being born again, you are not born of an earthly mother or father. You are not born of water and just of blood, but you're baptized in fire now. The baptism of the Ruach, Holy Ghost, which is the Spirit of truth. Now you have eyes that can see the truth. You have ears that can now hear the truth. Those are two different worlds that I'm describing to you. So when the grandson of right thought is talking to you, do you notice how I be talking? How I say, I'm asking you, am I lying? I'm not asking you how it sounds. I'm not asking you if there's any what you call bad words in it. That's not what I'm asking. I'm asking you, is it true? Because what does the Spirit of truth do? Speak truth with no guile. You see it? Now, why am I speaking it the way that it coming out? Because there are other worldly people listening who will not understand. Because of that, can't y'all hear how easy it is to understand? They will stop listening to what the grandson is saying because of those offensive things that they hear with their old ass ears that are no good anymore. That's why they hear it that way. And when they look at me, they don't see any glorified being before them with any special attire or any robe with an extra border or anything that the other hypocrites do that appeal to the eyes. So they can't see the beauty of the grandson of right thought. But once you have the new eyes, then you see his beauty in purity and in truth. And when you have the new ears, now you can hear exactly what the grandson is saying to you every single day. They are life-saving words. Gosh, golly, can you guys understand that there? All right. He says, verse 20, at that day you shall know that I am in my Father, and ye in me, and I in you. He that hath my commandments and keepeth them. Who's speaking? Yahusha is. He who has my commandments and keepeth them, he it is that loveth me. So the first commandment is to love God with all your heart, your soul, and everything. Well, if you keep what he told you, then that proves that you love him. That's what it actually means. If you do what Yahusha said, which is love them. Simple as that. Love each other as I have loved you. So if you go and do that, that's proving you love Yahusha, not anything else that you do. Isn't it true? I love standing on Mount Zion because if anybody else runs up thinking they're going to say, no, grandson, that's not true, I'm ready to grind you to powder. So are you sure you want to say what I said was not true? Or do you want to double check and find out that it is? Because I don't speak of any other spirit, and there are only two. So you got to decide which spirit it is that you hear speaking to you today. Because we've discovered the first one, the spirit of truth. There's another one we're going to get into as we continue through this message. So watch this here. He that hath my commandments and keepeth them, he it is that loveth me. And he that loveth me shall be loved of my Father, and I will love him and will manifest myself to him. So then, if you want to have Yahusha manifested to you, what must you do? Keep the commandment that Yahusha gave you to keep. Isn't it easy? Yep, it is to me. So then if somebody says, well, grandson, wow, man, you sure are blessed with the truth. You sure are blessed with knowledge and wisdom and everything. There's only one way, as the scripture says, to get it. How did I get it? By keeping Yahusha's commandment. That's how. And if I abide in that, then I won't ever lose what I got. So I abide, just as he told me to, as we're reading here today, which is what I'm telling you all to do. See it there? And if you judge me by outward appearance and how I sound, then you will think that I'm not heaven bound. But you're wrong if you say that, because a man can only ascend if he hath first descended. So the only reason I'm here talking to you is because I must have descended from the Father, because that's where the Spirit of truth descend like a dove from. And it lighteth upon a man and open his mouth, and what come out his mouth is worse than what Godzilla breathed. So do you want to run up in front of it while I'm talking, or do you just want to submit and say, grandson, you're just right about what you're saying here? Which one you want to do? Continuing. Judas saith unto him, not Iscariot, Lord, how is it that thou wilt manifest thyself unto us and not unto the world? See? So how come we're going to be able to see you, but the world's not? Like the grandson is telling you how I'm looking at Yahusha straight to the face. And the world is like, where's Yahusha? When's he coming? When am I going to talk to him? When am I going to see him? Don't y'all understand it? Yahusha answered and said to him, watch the answer. If a man love me, watch, he will keep my words. And my Father will love him, and we will come unto him and make our abode with him. So now, a man just walking down the street, minding his own business, keeping Yahusha's word in his heart. So everything he do is ran through the filter of what Yahusha has to say first before he does it, because that's what a wife would do if she were married to the husband, who is Yahusha. So if you're married to him, then you're going to run everything through the filter. Well, there's a man doing that. Well, because he's doing that, Yahusha and the Father, it says there, have come and made their abode. Abode means where you live at. Has made their abode with him. Like I told you, the Spirit will come down like a dove and light upon a man if he keep the commandments. So I'm telling you all how I got so powerful, even though to your eye, you can't see the power. Well, if you can't hear the word and see what we're doing over here at the School of Marvelous Light, it is because why? It is hidden to them which are lost. You're lost. And why? Because you're of the other world. And we've already discussed how the other world judges. There's only one other way they judge. Tell it to them, little flock. How do the other world judge? How do they judge? Timestamp the question and put the answer down there in the comments if you know the answer. Not the world you're of, but the world that they are of. How do they judge? Very simple. All right, now back to the word. Back to the word. So he says, he that loveth me not, watch. So he that loveth me not, keepeth not my sayings. Where are his sayings at? They're written right there in the word. So if somebody decided to look at them red words and magnify them above all the rest of the words that they had read, even though they had read the other ones too, but they magnified the red ones because the red ones are magnified, that's why they're red. And he elevated them in his heart, and he kept those, then he's blessed. And the Father and the Son comes to him and makes their abode. So if the Father and the Son come to a man who's keeping it, that man is now the third part, or the grandson. Isn't it clicking like Legos? Yahusha's words just told you how this happened with me. The Father and the Son are here. So then who should I call myself other than the grandson? I don't call myself that. He calls me the branch. Behold my servant, whose name is the branch, and he shall build the temple. Why do you build the temple? So that the Spirit of God can come and reside in your body, because the temple is the body. Well, how do you build your body to make it suitable for the Spirit to come in, grandson? How do I know if it didn't happen to me? Well, I do know. So let me tell you. You keep Yahushua's sayings, his words, his commandments. That's how. So when the trouble or temptation come, you handle it like Yahushua handled it. You do what he would do. You don't have your own mind. You don't have your own will. You're doing what Yahushua does. So when people say, oh man, why you didn't lash back? Because Yahushua didn't. I don't care what you think I should do. You ain't my husband, nigga. Get your stinking ass up out of here. Shit. I wish there were more women like that. Willing to tell another nigga that's trying to lift up your skirt, get your ass up out of here. I don't accept other thoughts. I don't think I need to make clear what I'm saying when I say that. I don't accept other men. I accept what Yahushua didn't put in me already. He already in me. See how the wife be walking around? I know I got to get down in here a little bit to get my elbows in the mud a little bit with y'all so I can explain this. When a man has a wife, I don't know if y'all maybe that haven't been married don't know this, but the man is having sex with that wife all the time. Okay? From personal experience, I can tell you this. When you have a wife that you have desired to make your wife and you obtain her, you're having sex with her all the time. And everybody's going to find out because you're going to get her pregnant constantly. And the reason why she's constantly staying pregnant is because you're constantly putting your seed inside of her body. In other words, you're the farmer who's tilling the earth and planting your seed so you can get a harvest out of her children. Well, you love the land, so you're constantly planting into it because it's fertile and beautiful and smells sweet and give you great fruit and everything. See that little flock? Isn't it true? So what in the hell do you think you're going to feel if somebody else comes in and starts casting some seed up in there? How are you going to feel when you do your harvest and it's going to be something else planted in there you didn't have no plan on planting it? Well, what did Yahushua say when it happened to him? Bundle up them tares, them bastards that the enemy have put in my land, in my woman, because it all goes the same and y'all can't deny that it does. Does it? Wonder what spirit told me that. I wonder what spirit told me that man was thoughts and woman was feelings. I wonder what spirit taught me that and then taught me how to teach that doctrine with great clarity where it's not in error with the scripture. I wonder what spirit told me that. Continuing, we'll see. He that loveth me not keepeth not my sayings. That's the difference. And the word which you hear is not mine, but the Father which sent me. So I'm telling you this because the Father is saying it, not me. Same thing with me. I'm telling you what Yahushua tells me to say. I don't care what you think Yahushua sound like because you don't know him. The Bible made that clear there. That's why I read it. There's the whole world out there that doesn't know him, and nor can they see him. So how the hell are they talking about what he looks like and what he sounds like? They don't know. They guess by the outward appearance what they think he would look like based off of what their minds tell them something holy is. But that's all wrong, like I told you, because they can't judge. So now, the difference is they don't love him because they don't keep what he said. See it there? Now I want you guys to scour Yahushua's words. And when you're done scouring them, come back to the grandson of right thought and tell me, what does it all add up to? What should you do based off of what Yahushua has said in his sayings? If you want the Father as well as the Son to come to you, people talking about getting the Father, you can't have the Father without the Son. You got to have both. He said, my Father and me will come and abode with you if you keep my sayings. There's no other way. So if somebody says the Spirit, I got the Spirit, and yet they deny Yahushua, then what does that tell you? They don't have a damn thing. That's the spirit of Antichrist. Uh-oh, the other spirit. Yeah, we're going to get in that too. All right. So Yahushua said, verse 25, these things have I spoken unto you, being yet present with you. See? So I'm going to speak to you when I'm not physically present before your eyes to see. I'm still going to speak to you, but right now I'm speaking to you while I'm physically present right in front of your eyes. You see it? But the Comforter, see how there's a separation and difference, which is the Holy Ghost, whom the Father will send in my name. Look at that there, little flock. So this spirit of truth has a name, and it's Yahushua's new name. What is that name? I've told you guys what it is because that's the name he gave to me. Now, why would he give me this name if this scripture ain't true? It's because it is true as to why he gave me that name. Isaiah. See that there? Which means deliverer, avenger. See it? Now, whose blood out of the whole entire Bible cries out for vengeance more than anyone else's blood? Check the Bible and see, because you'll find him if you look hard enough. His name is Abel. Now, I'm going to ask you a question. Out of the family of God, where does Abel fall? Well, Abel would be the father. Adam would be the son of God, the Bible tells us. So his son would be the grandson. That would be Abel. What's my name? But the Comforter, which is the Holy Ghost, whom the Father will send in my name, he shall teach you all things. Remember what I told you about this Spirit of truth? So the Spirit of truth that has revealed any mysteries that you have heard revealed here at the School of Marvelous Light, does it how? By teaching you all things, and bring all things to your remembrance whatsoever I have said unto you. So now, if you really want to check the spirit of the grandson of right thought, because he's making it clear about the spirit that he has, but if you guys got any more questions, let's make it more clear. If you have any more questions, what does it say there? He shall remind you of everything whatsoever I have said. Why will he do that? Because that's how the Father and Son come and make their abode with you, by you keeping what he said. So then what would I tell you all to do? If I were truly of this spirit that I'm telling you I am of, that dove that I am of, that came down from above, fit me like a glove, showing you this love. What y'all want to say about it, little flock of laters? What y'all want to say? What you want to say? Watch this. Peace I leave with you. My peace I give to you. My shalom I give to you. Not as the world give I unto you. Let not your heart be troubled, neither let it be afraid. Now, where did he give you his peace, this gift? In your hearts. In you is where he put that gift. You see it? So he don't give, people of the world don't do that. They give you an outward gift that you look at and high value praise the thing. Yeah, look at this diamond. See? He give you a diamond that you can put in your heart that will not corrupt. That's what the grandson does. Diamonds and shit and gold and everything is dug out of dirty shit, dirt, soil. But if you're not offended by the dirt and soil, you'll get the diamonds. That's what I tell you to do with the grandson of right thought. Y'all can't get past the dirt and the soil that covers the diamond that I am. Anybody who recognizes high value would rush toward it. What does the world do? They don't see it. We already read it. Everything's being proven here at the School of Marvelous Light. See that? All right. He says, let your heart not be troubled. See, your heart. That's why he said, I give you my peace. So don't let your heart, see, be troubled. Neither let what? It be afraid, your heart. You have heard how I said unto you, I go away and I come again unto you. If you loved me, you would rejoice. Why, little flock? Because I said, I go away. I go unto the Father. For my Father is greater than I. And now I have told you before it come to pass, that when it is come to pass, you might believe. See that there, little flock? Hereafter, I will not talk much with you. For the prince of this world, see how he keeps saying that? The prince of this world cometh and have nothing in me. But that the world may know that I love the Father. And as the Father gave me commandment, even so I do. Arise and let us go hence. Do you hear it, little flockulators? Do you hear it? So now we understand that there's a separation of the two worlds. One world can't even see what we're doing. They say they love God. They say they're doing everything for God. And yet it's all by the work of their hands and outward appearance. You see that there? Which was the question I asked you guys to timestamp and put your answer to. How do they judge? You see how Yahushua was focused on your heart and not letting it worry? That's why he'd be walking around saying, be of good cheer. Have faith. Don't he be saying it, y'all? Be joyful, rejoice, be glad. Doesn't he often say this? Yes, he does. All right. Now we're going to go to 1 John chapter 4. And then we'll be done with this message. 1 John chapter 4, I'm going to start at verse 4. You are of love, little children. Here comes another separation again. And have overcome them. So if you're of love, then what are they of? If the little flock is of love, then what are they of? If the little flock is of love, then what are they of? What y'all think they of? Fear. What did Yahushua tell your heart not to do? Fear. So then you'll be set apart and holy from them by the state of your heart. Why can't anybody understand that? God will come to you and make his abode with you if your heart is in the right place, and yet everybody else is not even listening to one who has already experienced it. Or else, how do I do what I do every day here? And if you think it can be done, then how come you won't do it? Because to say that it's not necessary or important to do it, you'd be lying. Matter of fact, Yahushua said, pray that there be more of y'all doing it. Well, if it's such an easy thing to do, then how come everybody ain't doing it? Why? Because you have to be anointed to do it. The Spirit must be upon you to do it. So now I'm going to ask you again, how am I doing what I do here at the School of Marvelous Light every day? For all of you naysayers, for all of you who walk right past and wag your head and don't listen and don't subscribe, you don't share, you don't tell anybody about this truth of how to be saved. Because can you deny that what I'm telling you will save you if you do it? Can you deny that? I don't think that you can. And if you could, then you would. How come you don't? Because you can't. Y'all like 4-letter words. So don't be surprised when I use a lot of them. Them words hurt just like the other 4-letter words. You can't. Feel like I'm cussing at you when I say that. You don't. Sound like I'm cussing at you when I say that. Yeah, they're just 4-letter words. They're just 4-letter words. That's all. But you can't, so you don't. Because I'm challenging all of y'all. Tell the world what to save them. Well, Jesus Christ will do it. So then how are we differing? So then how come you don't listen to me? Because, man, people from Christ don't be like that. Be like what? Worldly? Shiny? Lights flashing? Wearing changeable apparel? Looking good before you? Speaking as clear and concise and perfectly and educated? Also without any vulgar language and rude speech associated with it. That's what you mean? Polished to the outward appearance so that it looked good for you, even though you're a doer and not a judge. What kind of stupid ass slave hops up on the slave plantation and starts judging the other slaves for being slaves? You're a fucking slave. So then the slave master gonna kill your ass because you didn't do your job, nigga. You was too busy worrying about what someone else was doing. Wait till Massa get here. Watch what he gonna do to you when he catch your ass. But when he find me, guess what he gonna find me doing? See, y'all are offended to be a servant. I'm not, because I keep whose words? Whose words reminded me to be a servant? So would the world tell you to be a servant in it? They don't. So then why try to lie to me and tell me that they do? I know the world, and I know the world that I am of, and it is the world of the heart. So therefore, there are certain things that I can't do with a clear conscience. And that thing that I can't do with a clear conscience is to do ill to my neighbor. That shit will eat me up until I rectify the scales and balance them, because I would not stand before Yahushua with imbalanced scales in my heart, because it is not right, because I've also done wrong. So then who am I to be a judge of the law instead of doing what Yahushua commanded me? Like he said, that if I did, then God would come to me. But since you won't do what Yahushua said, you're too busy fighting and listening to what someone else said other than Yahushua and elevating what he taught you, even though his blood is more elevated and speaks better things than even that of the grandson of right thought. Y'all won't even hear that. Well, what did Yahushua say? They won't hear you because they won't hear me, because they won't hear God. Why? Because it has to do with the state of your heart. Y'all like getting over on each other. You like to deceive if it's going to cause more to fall into your hand. That's what separates our two worlds. Get a little bit more clarity on it before we finish this message out. You are of God, little children, and have overcome them. So which ones are stronger? Abba said there shall be 2 nations in your womb. Did I not tell you, all of us who are in the state of being, which is calm, safe, secure, beautiful? I am, come on, little flock, I am awesome. I am magnificent. I am well sustained at every turn. I am stable. I am single-minded. I am loving. I am powerful. I am overcoming. I am dominating. Don't you hear it? How we be talking in my nation? So which one you think is stronger? Well, let's read this and see. You have overcome them. So you who have entered into this truth of love, which requires you to keep Yahushua's commandments to either do love, to even do it, you must go through him. He's the one teach you how. He's the master that Moses bring you to. Y'all niggas still want to turn away from Yahushua and run back to Moses and go back to teachings that aren't as elevated as Yahushua's are. He has more glory than Moses. So if I listen to them both, that's cool. But I better be listening to Yahushua. I shouldn't cancel out what Yahushua said and replace it with what Moses told me, should I? Everybody has to say, no, you shouldn't do that, grandson. That's why God, right there when Moses was standing next to Yahushua, told them, hear ye him. And he spoke about Yahushua. That's why that happened, to let everybody know. I know what the prophets told you, and I know what the law told you. Now I want you to hear what my son has to tell you, because that is the only way that I will make my abode with you, is if you keep what he has said. So then what else the hell should I tell y'all to do? Now, what do those other teachers tell you to do? And what do they do? Can you look at their lifestyle and tell that they're keeping Yahushua's sayings? For instance, take no thought of what you shall wear. You would all look at my videos for all the years that I've been posting and have to say, he obviously has not taken thought of that. So he's keeping Yahushua's words. He's not just telling us to. Matter of fact, he couldn't remind us to if he had not the spirit to say it. And he's telling you how he got it, which is by keeping Yahushua's word. And one of them words was, don't care about what you wear. And another one was, don't care about what you eat. And another one was, don't even take thought of your life, because your life will take care of the things of itself. The thoughts of today will take care of the things of itself. So then don't even worry about tomorrow. Take no thought for your life. But matter of fact, think about the kingdom of heaven and seek ye first its righteousness. And then the rest will be added to you. So in other words, seek ye first doing what? Loving my neighbor as myself. Just do that today. Because that's the most important work that I do, because everything else that I do is vain, according to the other grandson, which is Solomon, the one who built the temple of God. See how y'all can't understand how the grandson does that? Because I'm the grandson. I'm the one to whom it belongeth. That's why it's about knowing who you are. Because if you don't know who you are, then you won't know why you antagonize yourself and agonize inside yourself when you do wrong. You actually don't even know the wrong you're doing. The wrong that you're doing every day, if you're from my world, the wrong that you do, the sin that you do is hurting somebody. Getting over on somebody to get a gain for yourself. Isn't that stealing? See how it fulfills the law? Isn't that coveting? Isn't that adultery? And when you look at your life, you'll see that that's what you're doing. That's wounding you in your heart. That's separating you from that spirit that wants to dwell with you. That's what's separating you. As it says, your sin. That's what it is. It's when you're doing something to do harm to your neighbor. Because if you keep Yahushua saying, then you won't do that thing. So then that's the thing. But the world can't hear that. Why do they dress up to go to a funeral if they hear that? Why do they do that? Why do they wear their nicest clothes to go to a funeral of somebody that died whose family is suffering, but they're wearing their best clothes so that people see them and say, wow, you look nice today, sister. You smell good. Why are you worried about how you smell? When the truth is you should be in sackcloth and ashes with snot dripping down your nose, mourning. But you're too proud and too arrogant and don't want anybody to see that outward veneer that doesn't matter, because it is the heart. And if you were bearing your heart in truth, then you would be in sackcloth and ashes. You would not take thought of what you had on or what you were wearing or how you was looking and none of that. You wouldn't care about it. You would more so care about the state of your heart every day. Can't you hear this message, little flock? Can't you hear the purity of it? Can't you hear how honest it is? Can't you hear the desire that I have for you to be saved? Man doesn't work in vain unless he's working in the old world. What kind of work am I doing? Harvest labor. A man only harvests what he gonna eat. In other words, they're gonna be sitting at the table together at a supper at the end of that harvest. Isn't that what the scripture says? Oh boy. All right, keep listening. Watch this. So you have overcome them because greater is he that is in you than he that is in the world. See the two? They are of the world. See the separation? They are of the world. Therefore speak they of the world, and the world heareth them. We are of love. He that knows love heareth us, and he that is not of love hears not us. Whereby know we the spirit of truth and the spirit of error. There you have it, little flock. Those are the two spirits that are at work in man, trying to war over his soul, trying to have access to his body, as we know from the branch's testimony of Satan being at his right hand to resist him, and the angel on the other sitting there cleaning his garments, saying, no, I rebuke you. I will choose Jerusalem. And y'all don't understand why he says that. I'm telling you why he says it. You have to be in that state of being so that when the thief comes to steal it, he can't. That's that simple. He can't steal the rights to the Jerusalem reserved table that you have there. You have a place reserved in heaven, the heavenly Jerusalem. You have a place reserved. That's why it says don't let anybody take it. Don't let anybody take your crown. Don't let anybody take your place. So then when they try to get you to come down in the basement, don't. When they try to get you to come into that other world, don't. What's the other world? To do something to harm someone to get something. It's that simple. That's why Yahusha said if a man commit adultery in his heart, can't y'all hear that and see that, little flock? He cared not about what the person physically did. The doctor, a wise physician cares not about that. What he cares about is what causing it. And it's your heart. That's what's causing you to commit adultery. See? In other words, you coughed because you have a virus. So you want me to take cough syrup and a cough suppressant to deal with the cough and don't do anything to deal with the virus? Well, if we deal with the virus, we won't have a cough. The cough is the physical manifestation of the sin you see that break your hearts. But it shouldn't break your heart when you manifest it. It should break your heart that you thought it in your heart, and you should deal with it right then and uproot that thought and throw it out your garden. Why? Because it's not loving my brother to look at his woman and lust after her and desire to have her. That's working ill to my brother. I no longer have to hear, do not commit adultery. You don't have to say that to me anymore. What you have to say is, it's not right to take what don't belong to you. That's what it is. To take what don't belong to you hurts your brother. So if anything that causes ill to your brother, that's not keeping Yahushua's word. See how it is? See? But they of the old world, they think if they stop it from manifesting, then they have done it. See what I mean, little flock? Can you actually hear the wisdom of what I've just said to you? If someone stole something from you, okay? If they stole it, and no one ever knew that they stole it, of course God does, but no one ever known that they did. Do they think they got away with it? Of course they do. Now my question is, did they? And you all have to say no. But I just proved to you that a man thinks he does well when no man knows that he did it. Correct? Isn't that interesting? So that's the old world that you came from. Now, just to prove that, I'm going to ask you a simple question. Have you ever done anything in your life that you tried to cover up the results that you did it so that no one would know that you did? You ever do that? Y'all all have to admit you did. I don't care how old you were when you did it. That ain't important. Niggas on here talking about something. I was only 3 when I did that. I was 4, man. I didn't know no better. I would know that. He winked at your ignorance for a time. He know it. But what I'm saying is, did you ever do something and try to hide the fact that you did it from some person? Either it was your mother, your father, your friend, your pastor, your boss, You're any damn body. Your wife? Okay then. That's the old world that does that. Because guess where the information that you did do it is? Right there in your heart, isn't it? So is your heart filthy, but the outside looks clean? Did he say that about the Pharisees? The accuracy of the blade that I swing cuts right down the middle. So step on up. Come on. And you're going to get slickly diced. Y'all hear that today? Slickly diced. Uh-huh. It's very simple to me. That's what they do. Okay. If I throw rocks and hide my hands, no one knows that I threw the rock. That only works in the old world. Because God saw when you premeditated in your heart. If you threw the rock, you aimed. I don't know if they can hear the grandson of right thought and what he's actually talking about here. Can y'all hear me? When you threw the rock, in order for it to hit its target, you had to aim at it, didn't you? So then why was that target your brother's head? If you think the sin was when the rock actually hit him and killed him and the blood came out. Oh, I sinned. What was it when you were aiming? What was that? Not sin? Oh, I see what you're saying, grandson. It's about time. It's about time. So you better know where to clean and get clean. Because if you ain't, y'all know the rest. Still on this one.